Yes, students, you all can see the PPT now. Is the PPT is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Understand, yeah.
Ma'am.
Okay. Yes,
Yes,
students,
ma'am.
now we are in fifth module. In fifth module, we are going to learn about web development and data access using ADO.NET. In the last class, I have given some basic introduction, and in Visual Studio, I shown you how to use this, how to develop or how to begin with the development of web application. Yes, we have seen now there are different ways to select for the web application. You can select a empty web page, or you can select some default web page. In default web page, a default page will be there and the about us page will be there. So like skeleton, the page will be generated. In that, if whatever the functionality you want to add, you can add, or you want to enhance that web page, you can enhance. Already two links are there, so if you want to include some other links, you can include, or if you want to design the page, if you want to give some if you want to change the color, if you want to give some effects to the project, to the application or to the web application, you can do. Yes, students, now we have not started learning web development. Still we have not started developing the web development. So without ASP.NET, is it possible to develop a web application? Yes. A simple way. Without ASP.NET, yes. In the last class, I shown you how to begin with the ASP.NET web page. Just if you take a form instead of web application, if you take a web page, then a web page will be generated. Correct? No, we have seen that. So other than this, is it any other way to develop a web page? Yes. ಇದೆಯಾ ಬೇರೆ ವೇ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದೆಯಾ? Yes, students, please respond. Yes, I know one way. Which is that way? That is HTML. Alva? If you just take a notepad, and if you just include HTML tag, body tag, and one message that is good morning, and if you run that, the output can be seen in the web page. Yes, students, is it another way of creating web page? We all learnt in the first semester. Yes, first semester ella kaltidiralva. Respond. At least say yes or no. Okay. So other than this ASP.NET, we can also develop a web page in a simpler way using a HTML. Yes, students, can you all see now? Okay. You all can see? Yes, this is a simple program I have opened. I think this program you have all done in your first semester. Here, what I have done is I have developed a web page. This is a simple program. Here, I have developed a web page. Here, I have used all the basic HTML tags. Alva, here, this is the header tag. This is the heading tag. This is the heading tag, and this is the using here I have given some information. And this is also a heading tag, and this is a markup marked tag, and here I have some of the H1, H2, H3 tag. See, this is a H4 tag. See, why I am showing this example is, other than ASP.NET, we can also develop a web page using HTML. Is it right? Is it right, students? Yes, we can develop, other than HTML, we can develop a web page using this HTML. Yes, students, see here, if you observe this web page, here I have given a link. What link I have given here? Google home page. If you're in your laptop or in your system, if internet is working, then this link will redirect to the Google page. This link will redirect to the Google page. See, these are all the basic tags. These are all basic tags which we use in HTML. This is a image tag. Yes, students, down. You can see the table now. You can see the table tag, and this is a horizontal ruler. So using this horizontal ruler tag, you can draw this horizontal line. See here. This is italic. See, this is bold with italic. So all these tags, the basic. If you want to go to the source code, you can view the source here. Yes, here, students, here you can see the information, whatever the information I have given. This I have given using a paragraph tag, and here I have used some of the heading tags, bold tag, italic tag, hyperlink tag, image tag. So many tags I have used to develop this ESP, to develop this web page. Yes. Yes, students, understanding, other than ASP.NET, we have another option to develop. Here what we are learning, basics of basics of web page, basics of web. So other than HTML, we can also, to develop a simple web form, to develop a simple web page, we can use HTML. Is it right? Correct, no, students? We can use a HTML. How we develop a HTML page? We take a notepad. In the notepad, just if you include, just if you include this, if you include this basic HTML tag and body tag and just a message, close the body tag, close the HTML tag. If you run this program, in the browser, if you open this notepad page with the browser, then the output will be displayed on the web page. The output will be displayed on the browser. Yes, students? At least you have this idea, no? You know how to, you don't want me to develop this simple HTML page, and you want me to show this?
Everyone, ma'am, no, ma'am. This part is we skip.
Huh?
Everyone know, ma'am, HTMLs.
Okay, then I am not getting any response, no. So that's why, see, it is there in the syllabus, so I have to do.
Okay.
So here using yes. So using HTML page, you can we can create a simple web page, and next we have URL. URL. What is the full form of URL? URL and URI. The URI stands for Uniform Resource Identifier, and URLs stands for Uniform Resource Locators. So URL is nothing but the path where my page is located. So this URI identifies the resource on the internet. It is used, this URL and URI is used to identify the resources on the internet. It starts with HTTP. And it is called as URLs. Yes, you all know, no? I think this diagram also, the simple diagram also, you know. So I'll zoom this. Okay, students. Can you see this now? Is this the diagram? Is the diagram is clear? See, generally what happens if you see, this is a client, this is a client through the internet. Generally what happens if I want to Google something, I want to know the full form of URL. I don't know what is the full form of URL. I don't know the full form. What is the use of URL? I don't know what is the full form of HTML. If I don't know, then generally what we do? We Google, no? Nowadays small kid also googling if any information, if they want any rhymes or if they want any information, and everybody, for if we want to know about some recipes, whatever the doubts we are getting, we are googling, correct, no? So how we Google? Through our phone or laptop we Google. So this is a client, so this is a web client. Through the internet, whatever the doubts, whatever the request or whatever the information we want from the browser, we want from the server. So we, through the internet, we put a request, as a web client, and here it will search. The web server will search, is the information is available, it will search, and it will, if any related information is present in this web server, then it will give a response. If that information is not, then we are not finding any data for that, for this match, like this, some message it will display. So here the web client, the request is sent from the web client to the web server through what? Through this internet, and after it receives the request, the web server searches its system for the resources. So the same thing happens to students when we generally, when we Google something in the internet. Yes, the same thing is happening now. So we are a web client, so we are sending a request. And for that request, if any matching resources are available, then it will respond us. If it is not finding any matching resources, if it is not finding any matching resources, then we are getting a suitable error message. Or else, if any data is there, if the data is present, then a list of data responses will be displayed on the browser, correct, no? We have seen this. So next we have the multi-tier application architecture. Yes, see here students, this is a diagram. Yes, this is the multi-tier architecture diagram, or we can also say as a three-tier architecture. This multi-tier architecture is also known as three-tier architecture, and this is the first layer, that is a bottom tier. This is the first layer, or this is the first layer. We call this as a bottom tier or the information tier, middle tier or the business logic tier. Middle tier is, this is nothing but a web server, and this web server is called as a middle tier. This middle tier is also known as business logic tier. See, bottom tier, middle tier, and the browser is called as a web tier. Browser is nothing but the user interface. Is nothing but we through the mobile or the laptop is not, or the desktop is nothing but a user interface. We as a client, so this is a client tier, and this is a top tier. So the same thing, students, what I have shown in the previous diagram, the same thing is here. It has represented in a architecture way. This is a three-tier architecture, or you can also say as a multi-application layer. Sorry, not multi-application. This multi-tier application architecture. is also multi-tier application architecture. So multi-tier application architecture. The same diagram in the request and response of the web client and the web server. What we have seen, the same thing is represented here as a multi-tier, represented as a multi-tier architecture, or we can also call this as a three-tier architecture. The three-tier architecture. So this is the first layer, this is the first layer, and this is the bottom layer, or we can also say as a bottom tier, or the information tier, the middle tier, or the business logic tier, and the top tier, or the client tier. See here, the bottom tier is here. What it has written here, students. Initially, what is there here? DBMS. Why we use DBMS? Why we use DBMS? To access with the database. To access with the database, we use DBMS. Through DBMS, we write the queries. No, to retrieve the data from the database, we write the queries. How we write the queries? How we write the queries? Using DBMS. Using DBMS, we write the query. So this bottom tier is nothing but the database. In the diagram only, they have mentioned that this is nothing but a database. And the web server is a business logic implemented in ASP.NET. The business logic implemented in the ASP.NET. And the third and the the top tier or the top layer is user interface. What is user interface? What is user interface? It is a communication media, or it is a communication medium between user and the machine, or user and the system. Correct? No? I know that everything is available in Google. I know everything is available. Whatever the doubts I have, everything is available in the Google. Then how to access the Google? How to access the Google? Through notebook? Yes, through notebook, through pen? No. We need a medium to access the data from the Google. What medium? So we need something to access the data. What is that something? Either it may be mobile phone, or it may be desktop, or it may be a laptop. So that when you want to access, then what you do, you take your phone and you check for the internet connection. So the internet is very much needed. The internet is needed. Without internet, we cannot access any information. So if I have internet also, then without the interface is nothing but your mobile phone or your laptop or your desktop. So through that we access the data from the browser. Yes, correct, no students? So this three-tier architecture is also known as multi-tier application architecture. Multi-tier application architecture. So here we have a three layers. We have a three layers, that is information layer. Information layer is also known as what? bottom tier. Information tier is also known as bottom tier or a information tier. So the information tier is also called as bottom tier, maintains the application's data. So this bottom layer maintains the information of the application. It maintains the information of the application. And this tier typically stores data in a relational database management system. So this database or this tier stores the data in a relational database management system. For example, a retail store. Assume that I have a retail store. So in retail store, what are the information I need, students? Yes, in retail store, what are the information I need? Retail store is nothing but a supermarket. A supermarket, or you can take an example of DMart. DMart is also a retail store. It is not a ಅದೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ in bulk we take, no? Wholesale. It is not a wholesale. The DMart is not wholesale. It is a retail store. If you take a retail store example, so what are the information if our I'll put it like this. If I ask you to create a application or develop a application for a retail store. Yes, if I ask you to develop a project for retail store, so what all the information we need, what are the requirements we need, what are the information we should have? We should have the description of the product, description, price of the products. Yes, correct, no? DMart is not a small retail store. It is a very big retail store. So it is having so many products, thousands of n number of products it is having. And definitely we should have a quantities. How many quantities are available? The stock entry, the quantities, how many quantities. See, first I'll put it like this. First I'll take the first table, that is item table, items. So description of the item, price of the item, how many quantities are available in the item. So all the this table contains the fields which is related to the product. If I take one product, if I take one soap, so the company of the soap and any description is available for that particular soap, price of the soap, and how many quantities are available. How many quantities are available in our stock? All the information we need. And next, so many employees are there. Employees are working in the DMart. So I need the employee information. Is it right? I need the employee information. So to identify each employee with the same name, Anil is one employee name, and with same name, if I have more than 2 employees, so how to identify? So from the company side, they may give the employee ID to identify the each employee. So employee ID, employee name, address, phone number, any family background information, if they want to take father's details, mother details, and all the information which is necessary to identify or to take necessary for the employees. So those information will be stored in the employee table. And the billing table. So whichever the fields are necessary. So like this, when you take example of any business, we need a n number of databases. So so we have to create a different tables. So in the information tier, it is having the information of the database. It is having the information of the database. So in a database means it is like a heart of the application. It is like a heart of the project. So if we lose the data, then we Nothing we can do with the interface. With I don't have any database on database only. So what I can do with the with the help of a interface. So interface there is no use unless and until I have the database. So this is a very important tier. It is a very important layer, I can say. So so this bottom layer contains the information about the so bottom layer contains the information about the database. For example, a retail store might have a database for storing the product information such as description, prices, quantities in stock. The same database. Yes, students. When I create a database MDF file, if I create a MDF file for a retail business, then in that MDF file only the different tables will be generated. Correct? No. So database will be one. That MDF file will be one. In that MDF file, different tables will be created. The same database also might contain a customer information. Yes, I have created a database. In that database, I am taking a information about the product. I am taking information about the customers, the customers such as name, billing address, and the credit card number. If we see here, I have taken the employee details. Here I have taken the billing details. So in the billing details only you can add this information, the customer information, that is name of the customer and the billing address and the credit card number. Generally we don't take this information because credit card number nobody no retailers will take a credit card number, but they have given this example. So better we take these example item, employee and the billing. So the meaning of this is the information layer contains the information of the database. Whatever the tables we are maintaining, whatever the database we are maintaining in the project, so all the information is present in the information tier or the bottom tier. This tier can contain multiple database. Yes, definitely here only we can say it contains a multiple database which together comprises the data needed for an application. Yes, it together comprise the data needed for an application. And next we have a business logic. Business logic. This is a middle tier. This is a middle tier. Students, business tier. Yes, students, are you all understanding now what I am explaining? Yes? Artha
Yes,
Artha
ma'am.
idea? Okay. First I'll take attendance and then I'll continue with the business tier. Answer attendance. Aditya. Aditya. Aditya is absent. Ajay,
Yes, ma'am.
Amit,
Yes, ma'am.
Antima, Antima, Antima is absent. Apurva,
Present, ma'am.
Ashwini,
Yes, ma'am.
Bindu,
Yes, ma'am.
Divyesh, Divyesh, Divyesh is absent. Gaurish,
Yes, ma'am.
Gautami,
Present, ma'am.
Gunashekar,
Present, ma'am.
Harini,
Present, ma'am.
Surya,
Present, ma'am.
Nayana,
Present, ma'am.
Nazma,
Present, ma'am.
Nidhi, Nidhi, what happened to this girl? She's not attending regularly. Pradeep, Preeti,
Present, ma'am.
Rajesh,
Present, ma'am.
Sahadev,
Present, ma'am.
Saket, Saket, Santosh,
Present, ma'am.
Seema,
Yes, ma'am.
Sinchana,
Present, ma'am.
Spurti,
Present, ma'am.
Spurti last two class ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಮ್ಮ.
Yes, ma'am.
Not well.
Yes, ma'am. I was not well.
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
I was not well, ma'am.
Okay. How are you now?
I'm fine right now.
Shashank,
Present, ma'am.
Varsha,
Present, ma'am.
Yashashwini,
Present, ma'am.
Amruta, Amruta, absent. Amruta is absent. Apurva,
Present, ma'am.
Sai Siddharth,
Yes, ma'am.
Chetana,
Present, ma'am.
Kavya, Kavya absent. Madhushri,
Present, ma'am.
Manish,
Present, ma'am.
Sarfaraz,
Present, ma'am.
Murgesh,
Present, ma'am.
Mani,
Present, ma'am.
Paresh,
Present, ma'am.
Pooja,
Present, ma'am.
Prashant, Prashant, Prashant absent. Pratibha,
Present, ma'am.
Pratik,
Present, ma'am.
Sadhana,
Present, ma'am.
Shashank,
Present, ma'am.
Shraddha,
Present, ma'am.
Sridhar,
Present, ma'am.
Tanuj, Tanuj,
Present,
Tejaswini,
ma'am.
okay, Tejaswini,
Present, ma'am.
Umehani,
Present, ma'am.
Ashish, Ashish, Ashish absent. Vidya,
Present, ma'am.
Vishal,
Present, ma'am.
yes, students, you can see the screen now. So the second tier is a business logic tier. The second tier is a business logic tier. The middle tier implements the business logic. The middle tier implements a business logic, controller logic, and the presentation logic to control the interaction between the application and its data. So it is a medium between the application and the data. This logic tier or this business logic tier or the business logic, it is a medium between the clients and the data. It is a medium between the client and the data, and this middle tier acts as an intermediary between data in the information tier and the application client. The middle tier controller logic process client request, such as request to view a product catalog and retrieve data from the database. Yes, students, just now I told you, if I want to know some information, for example, if I want to know about the full form of, just now I told full form of URL. I don't know what is URL stands for. I don't know what is the use of URL. I don't know what is the full form of DBMS. I don't know what it is. So if I know that information, so what I do, I put a request to the Google. Correct? No? Without putting a request, we cannot get a data from the Google. So put a request to Google, what is the full form of DBMS, or what is the full form of URL, or what is the full form of URI. Then it checks in the database whether the suitable data is present or not. It checks in the database. If any suitable data is present, then it will show as a answer to us on the interface. So this is a job of this middle layer. The job of the middle layer is to process from the process between client and the database. So whatever the request we are putting to the database, so to retrieve the data from the database and put it on the client. or put it on the show it to the client, or the clients can view whatever the request we have put. So we do the same thing, no students? Correct, no? We do the same thing. So whatever the doubt we have, we ask to Google. So in that browser, in that URL, in that tab, we type what is the full form of DBMS. So if I put what is the full form of DBA or DBSR, if I put what is the full form of DBSR, if that type of word is not present, if that type of word is not present, then it cannot access that, it cannot access the match for that DBSR in the database. So it will put an error message. So we don't have any matching data, or we are not able to find whatever the suitable error is available. So it will put that error. And sometimes if we do any spelling mistake, not a major spelling mistake, just if you miss a last letter, then the Google only will ask, do you want to search for this? Yes, like this it will show, no? So all this can be done through the business logic tier. The middle tier presents a logic, then process data from the information tier and present the content to the client. Web application typically present data to client as a web page. So see, whatever this I told, the same thing is repeating. So what the job of this middle layer is, whatever the data we need, so that is that they are going to fetch from the database, and that they are going to put on the web page. The business logic is a middle tier, enforces a business rule and ensures that data is reliable. So the job, see, simply I cannot. So the full form of URL is what? Uniform resource locator. The Google cannot show uniform reverse locator. See, what is the full form of URL, students? What is the full form of URL? Uniform resource locator. So when you ask Google, so this answer it will show. It cannot show uniform reverse locators. So if it is showing, then next time, do we believe Google? No, we don't believe Google. So what the Google should display the reliable information only. So the business logic, is this middle tier. It enforces the business rules and it ensures that the data, whatever the data it is showing, it is reliable. We can trust the data. If Google is showing reliable before the server application updates the database or present to the user. So before it is presenting to the user, before it is presenting to the client, the business logic layer job, the job eno antandre, it makes sure whatever the data it is showing to the customer, it is correct. The customers can, or the users can rely on the data. The business rule dictate how clients can and cannot access the application data and how application pre-process data. For example, a business rule in the middle tier of the retail store web-based application might ensure that all the products quantity remains positive. So see, the same thing, whatever the data is available in the browser, see here the main job of in the simple words, I'll tell you, a main job of this business rule layer, this business logic layer, is to communicate between the client and the database, and whatever the request we are giving to the browser, no. So before it gives the data to the customer, it should make sure that the data is correct. It should make sure the data is correct. This is the job of the business layer. The client request to a set of negative quantity in the bottom tier product information database would be rejected by the middle layer logic. So whatever the data we ask, it should be positive data. We cannot ask any negative information from the browser. So all if we are asking any negative information, then the business logic layer has the power, or it has the it can reject our request. If we are asking any negative information, then it has the power to reject the request, whatever the request we are putting. And the client layer. So this client layer is a last layer. Yes, students, this client layer is a last layer, or it is a top layer. If you see here, this is a top layer. So this is a top layer. So top layer or top tier or the client tier. Client tier. The client tier or top tier is an application user interface which gathers input and displays output. Correct? Yes. Through laptop or through desktop or through mobile phone, whatever the doubt or whatever we want to ask to the browser, so with that only we do know. So that is the, with that only we can put a input, we can insert the input, and we'll get back the reply. Correct? No, it will give the reply as a output. So this which gathers input output, which gathers input and displays the output. User interact directly with the application through the user interface. So user interacts directly with the application through the interface. Yes, this interface is a medium through which directly we can interact. Directly we can interact, typically viewed in the web browser, keyboard or mouse. So how we here only I'll show you, students. So this is my browser. This is my browser. Now I want to know. So this is my interface. Yes, student, this is my interface. So through this interface, see, this is here. This is a medium where I am putting a input. What is the time now? I want to know the time now. Time in India. So it is displaying 10:22 a.m. Monday. Today is Monday and date is 23rd November. So the time is 10:22. So I don't know what is the, I don't have watch. I don't have watch. I want to know what is the time now in India. See, through this tab, I am putting the input, and here it is displaying the, see, this is nothing. This page is nothing but a interface. Correct? Is it right, students? This page is nothing but a interface. Through this only we can access the data. And you hear how we can enter the data, either through mouse or through keyboard, either through mouse or through keyboard. Here all I have typed something so related to that, so some information is it is showing. So now I'll not use my keyboard, I'll just use my mouse pointer, and I'll take the mouse pointer to time in Australia. Now the time in Australia is 3:53 p.m. It's evening there. Now we are morning, so there in Australia it is evening, 3:53 evening. So they are ahead. Monday morning we are here. Monday morning 10:30 here. They Monday evening. So they are ahead from us. So with the in the interface, how we interact through keyboard or through mouse. In response to user application, for example, clicking a hyperlink. Yes, how we get a response? Clicking on the hyperlink. A client tier interact with the middle tier to make a request and to retrieve a data from the information tier. The client tier then displays the client tier then displays to the user the data retrieved from the middle tier. The client tier never directly interact with the information tier. So the client tier never directly interact with the information layer. It needs a user interface. It needs a user interface. Through that user interface only we can interact. And the job of this middle tier is to retrieve the data from the middle layer, and it displays on the monitor, or it displays on the user interface. So this is the middle tier application. Yes, students, understood? Understood? Artha aita? All of you understood? Any doubt? Any doubt, students? Respond.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So next we have a first web application building. So how to develop a web application. So that I'll do it in the next class, students. How to develop a, yes, all of you understood the multi-tier application architecture? It is very simple. So it has 3 layers: bottom layer, middle layer, and the top layer. The bottom layer is also known as information layer, middle layer is known as a business logic layer, and the top layer is known as a client tier. Students, any doubt? Any doubt? Students, no doubt means I'll stop here. Again, we'll see in the afternoon. Afternoon, you have lab.